You see in 2017 or like 2018, a lot of exchanges, they are very busy listing a lot of digital assets on the exchange platform. And now they're busy delisting the digital assets because of the pump and dump game. Like 90% of the price drop.
I think there are some challenging times right now, but I think Hong Kong has always been a great place where people have always got together and innovated and come up with new ideas, new businesses. It's been a place where people have really kind of made progress. And here in, for the crypto community and the Bitcoin community, we're really excited to be part of essentially a group of innovators from Hong Kong and from this region looking to create new ideas, create new businesses and move things forward, really.
What we see is that Bitcoin has been like a digital asset that Hong Kong people, they are very interested in, because like Hong Kong people, they are very curious and about investment, and also they are very keen on exploring more investment opportunities. Bitcoin is definitely one of the really good asset classes they are exploring, and then due to the recent instability of the society, they are looking for different kinds of assets to diversify a little bit of their portfolio. But I don't really think that it's the driving factor to move the price, because Bitcoin's asset, the prices is driven by many complex factors, or no factors by the mainstream economy.
It's, Bitcoin is really a global phenomenon, and I think there's so many different ways that the whole community kind of interacts around kind of Bitcoin and Bitcoin prices. That's actually what makes it interesting, I think, to potential investors.
So institutional clients that we describe them as maybe companies that have a larger digital asset and asset under management to invest into the crypto markets. Maybe there are some cases they are in other exchanges, the institutional clients, they have some advantages that the retail clients they do not have, but on AAX this is not the case. So for us, we are adopting the matching engine, which is very fair for everyone. Just if you trust, there's if you trade on London Stock Exchange, this is the equities market that you trade. You believe that this is fair. It's actually the same matching engine we are using here in AAX. This is the fair trading arena that you're using.
But some of those institutional clients are very well resourced. They look after a large number of assets under management. Some of those organizations have hundreds of billions of dollars that they manage. And for them to come into the crypto market would be good for everyone, actually, because it increases the demand and increases the usage of crypto and the interest of crypto assets. So we think that would be really good for both retail investors and institutional investors, for that market to grow in that way.
To add on that point, that the market manipulation actually happens a lot in those illiquid assets. So on AAX, we carefully select those digital assets listed on our exchange platform. So you won't really see a lot of pump and dump games on our exchange platform. You see in 2017 or 2018, a lot of exchanges, they are very busy listing a lot of digital assets on the exchange platform. And now they're busy delisting the digital assets because of the pump and dump game. 90% of the price drop. And then now, if you're retail investors, don't go to those digital assets to trade. So only pick those major digital assets, tokens, and then these are the assets that we list, and we believe that they're here for long term as well. We look at the team structure and look at the background of the people behind the project, and of course we look at the trading volume and also liquidity for those digital assets, and then the presence of those digital assets in different exchanges. So there are various factors that we take into consideration to make sure that the digital assets they are listed on exchange, you can trade easily, and also they have a sufficient liquidity and then not manipulated on the exchange. For us, AAX is the world's first and only cryptocurrency exchange powered by London Stock Exchange technology. So we offer you the fastest crypto trading platform in the world.
We endeavor to be the most secure cryptocurrency exchange, and we've worked with real cybersecurity experts like Kroll, who are worldwide experts in cybersecurity. They've worked with MI6 and Interpol and a whole series of very legitimate security organizations. They've helped us to build a security infrastructure and operations that will help make sure that all of our clients' assets are safe and their data is safer as well. So security is one of our #1 priorities, really.
We are now here in Singapore. Actually, we've been talking to a lot of lawyers, and then people get very, very excited about the regulation coming. So regulation is actually positive things that because we encourage innovation in fintech. At the same time, we want to protect the user. We want to protect the users. We don't want them to be scam, right? So we see that the regulation is coming not just in Singapore. So before we came to Singapore, we were in Hong Kong. So the SFC, the regulator in Hong Kong, they also published their regulatory position paper about the regulation. So we see that the regulators around the world, they are actually trying to look at what's going on in the crypto market. It's actually growing. And then we see that more and more people, they're coming into this space, not just the retail customers, but also institutional customers. So this is actually the market that we are seeing going to explode very soon.
Yeah, I think it's actually kind of funny because in some ways, if you ask people about, what do you think about regulation, it sounds like kind of a boring topic, but actually we think it's really exciting. And we think it's exciting because, for the fact that the regulators across the world are looking at how to regulate crypto means that they think crypto is here and here to stay, because otherwise they would not be paying attention to that.
Exactly. So I come from a finance background. So previously when I talked to my friends saying that I'm going to be in crypto industry, and they said, wow, you seriously? And then you look at their face, they're very skeptical. And now after 2 years in the adventure in crypto, and then more regulators, they're publishing the papers, talking to the industry, talking to the banks, the bankers, or all these people, they come to me and ask about, what's going on in crypto? How can we get into that? What if we want to trade? So we see that the change of attitude is actually the things that every time when a new technology comes, and then at the very beginning, people are very skeptical, and then they change into okay, embracing it. So it's same. So just now we had lunch, we talked about with the lawyers. The same thing happened in digital banking. The same thing happened in the dot-com age, and also why should we use a digital payment, right? And the people were skeptical. Now everyone is using it. We foresee that this is something exactly the same thing will happen again and again in the crypto revolution.
Yeah, I would say I don't have one specific favorite altcoin right now, but I'm really interested in watching what's happening with gold. So tokenized gold and gold assets coming on chain, I think is really interesting. But actually, as it crosses into crypto, so gold assets crossing into crypto. So I think that's going to be really interesting to watch because you hear people talk about, hey, Bitcoin is like digital gold, but now actually it's going to be interesting to see what happens when you have products that cross those two, and actually see how the market reacts to that and how will people invest in that. So for me, that's the key one to watch.
Yeah, so if I have to pick I would pick those digital assets. They focus pretty much on the business values and applications. So yesterday, there's one of the coin issued by VeChain, and then they focus pretty much on business applications. They focus on utilities. These are actually the things that I really love. And also you see Ethereum, they have a lot of efforts putting in and then to drive the business applications. So I think these are the digital assets that I really love because they are not setting up a coin to raise the fund and then coming out, but these are the people, they're working really hard to drive the industry and drive the mass adoption by the market. So I would say Ethereum, VeChain, these are my favorite.
So we are an international business, so we allow clients to pretty much use our service from almost any country, but we also have a really big prioritization around just compliance and running a clean market. So we can't accept users from sanctioned countries, but also right now we don't accept US clients as well because of the regulatory environment there too. But we are really internationally focused, so we're talking to regulators and legal compliance firms in many, many countries right now to make sure that our users can keep using our service.
If you look at the transactions volume every day, it actually has grown to a scale that it's very too big to fall. So now if you look at the scale, it's the market cap of digital assets 250 billion. It's a very massive market. Of course, when compared to forex market and then it's a fraction, a very tiny fraction, but still it's a very big market, and we're seeing that it's growing. So what we see that the most of the digital assets that in the rising from the ICO age, they probably disappear very soon. But for those crypto digital assets, we see the major one is actually the usage, and also just now talk about the mass adoption because of the business application or the user applications. these are the digital assets will stay for very, very long term. So if you look at the digital asset, what is it? Actually, this is the application of the protocol. So protocol is like blockchain. If you look at HTTP, that's the protocol. And then now we have like internet, Facebook. These are all the applications. So we see that there are more and more adoptions into these applications. You will see that they are here to stay for longer. So after 5 years, we will see it's not about the mobile applications, social applications. Maybe 5 years later, and you see a lot of blockchain applications, or these blockchain applications penetrating into social or web.
I think so. Three areas for key mass adoption. I think, as Thor was saying, I think utility is a really big one, and I think we're on the verge of that. So if we just even look at what's been happening with Libra, PBOC, and even recently the European Central Bank announcing that they want to create their own form around central bank digital currencies.
Who to participate, right? Yeah.
Exactly, who to participate and how that will work. We're talking here about potentially 3.5, 4 billion people on the planet who could access some kind of digital currency or crypto asset. And that's huge. And so, as Thor said, people don't need to understand that it's a blockchain behind the scenes. They just need to find it useful. And I think at that kind of scale, people begin to appreciate that digital assets, digital currencies are really useful for day-to-day life. I think at that point, it's just a matter of time before we see more and more of our world's assets coming onto blockchains, becoming digital assets. And it's just the way we do business. And I think that will really drive mass adoption. So our relationship with the London Stock Exchange Group Technology actually began many years ago when I was actually working with them to basically implement some of their systems and their matching engine as well. So when we came to create AAX and as co-founders, when we came together, we were looking for partners who could actually help us with building a system. And so we spoke to a number of kind of mainstream, traditional financial markets players, and we actually met with the LSE guys. We flew to meet them in Sri Lanka, and we sat down and we talked about our visions and our values for the company. And the visions and values of AAX are really trust, integrity, security, and performance. And we really resonated together on those values and the vision of the future for crypto markets to have these kind of values. So we established a great working relationship from very early on. So we've been working with them now here at AAX for over a year, working with them to integrate the platform, to make the enhancements, to trade crypto, to make it 24/7, and then to also think about what the future of crypto and digital assets could look like, and making sure all of that's built into the platform. So we're really excited because that made us the first cryptocurrency exchange to be using the London Stock Exchange Group technology. And we're going to have some more exciting developments coming up over the next few weeks that we're going to be really excited to talk about as well.
So from user experience perspective, it's very easy to use, very easy to register, very easy to trade. But for us, we built a lot of firewall and defense. We also hire some soldiers from Pro, ex-MI6 expert, FBI, and they are the guys who keep monitoring our firewall and our defense. So like you said, a lot of hacks and attacks on all the cryptocurrency exchanges. We are no exception. I mean, it's all about how you defend and how you get your soldiers to safeguard your exchange. So we get the firewalls and we get the soldiers to safeguard us. I'm Thor Chen, CEO of AAX.
And I'm Michael Wong. I'm the COO of AAX.
So we started AAX 18 months ago. When we started AAX, actually we think that the digital asset market is here to stay for long term. The future is actually we need a very compliant, high performance and trusted platform that we should build. That's why we started to think about that and try to outreach to maybe some trusted partner like London Stock Exchange Group to talk about the digital currency exchange.
So the London Stock Exchange Group technology look after the technology that is used at the London Stock Exchange. So the very same matching engine, the same piece of technology that matches the buys and sell orders at AAX is the same code base, the same engine that matches all of the trades at the London Stock Exchange market. So the FTSE 100 companies, but also other companies in other regulated markets like Oslo, the Italian Stock Exchange, Borsa Italiana, and the Oslo Stock Exchange as well. So really what our users can expect by using the platform is that the same fairness that you see in those markets is the same fairness that they'll experience when they get treated and when they use our platform at AAX as well. When we first created AAX, we looked around and there are so many exchanges that people can choose from. But one of the things we kind of picked up on was actually the real need for a venue that people could feel like they could trust. And we felt that was important because we want all of our users, whether they're a crypto native or they're just trying to get into crypto, to be able to feel like they can really trust the platform, trust them to be treated fairly, trust to look after their assets as well. And so when we were looking at our partners, working with an organization like London Stock Exchange, very well established, it's been around for hundreds of years, they've run trusted markets, and so that's why we wanted to adopt their technology so that our clients and our users could feel like they could trust us as well.
Yeah, so now we are getting more and more trade volume because we have a growing user base right now. And also we are involving some external market makers to provide us some liquidity.
So I think those guys have a really great businesses, and I think they've really helped lead a lot of the growth in what we've seen in the market so far. When we created AAX, we wanted to create the kind of new generation crypto exchange that could basically unlock growth for the future of this market. So what we saw was it's really important to have an exchange that all of our customers can use, whether they're crypto native or kind of retail customers. We also wanted the kind of exchange that would allow institutions to move their capital into the crypto markets as well. So we were talking about this when we first created the exchange, and if we take a major pension fund or even a hedge fund, if they were to put in even just 0.1% of their portfolio, it would be a major significant growth for the whole crypto market. So when we created AAX, we wanted to be able to provide that kind of venue, the opportunity for future growth for crypto, pure crypto assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum, but eventually other kind of digital assets as well, like gold or properties or securities that come onto that. And I think when we look at that, that's when things get really exciting, really interesting.
Yeah, so we are building an institutional grade platform for everyone. So like Michael described, a lot of really institutional grade technologies, high performance, secure. But this is not just exclusive for institutional clients, but also for everyone. This is why we are building AAX. So now we are offering up to $60 worth of Bitcoin for you to try AAX to trade perpetual contracts, spot, and then this is the thing that you can try our product. We are offering the fastest trading platform for you to try.
Yeah, so we'd love to invite people to try and use AAX.com. And if they log on and they register, we're giving away up to $60 of BTC, where they can actually just try our service and see if they like it. If you like it, we'd love to hear from you. If you don't, we'd also love to hear from you as well.